What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Burrow77 coming to you with another UCL breakdown. I am riding solo today, and this is UCL Knockout Round 2, the reverse fixture, second game in the series. We're going to start with Barcelona and Benfica, and then we're going to cover just the Tuesday games as I am running a little bit short on time with all the things going on in college basketball that I had to get done today. As always, I'm going to record one long segment for all of Tuesday's games, and then I will chop it up into shorter segments. They will all be posted and available on YouTube as I finish editing them. Starting with the Tuesday afternoon fixture, we have Barcelona taking on Benfica. I do want to remind you guys that Europe does not stay on the same daylight savings time schedule we do. Europe is still in the fall back phase, so all of the game's start times are an hour later than usual. So instead of this kicking off at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time, this will be kicking off at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Off the rip, this is disappointing that Benfica couldn't score a goal in their last match at home, up a man for almost 90 minutes. Barca's first foul of the game was a red card, and I hate to praise Barcelona, but they did play well. They ended up winning 1-0 away on aggregate, down a man for almost 90 minutes. I also think it's important to mention Barcelona did not play over the weekend. They were slated to play Osasuna, but one of Barca's trainers or staff, physicians or somebody died. They ended up postponing the game. So Barca is incredibly fresh. They haven't played a game in, 5 days, something like that. I do think it's important to mention that Lewandowski was not in the projected starting 11. When they came out, they did release an official starting 11. This game was canceled really last minute. So Louis dealing with a bit of a knock and was not available for Barcelona, at least in the starting lineup. That obviously changes with Champions League. If he can play, I'm sure he's going to go. Looking at the big board here, there's not a lot to love. Barcelona minus 280 doesn't do much for me. I'm not super impressed. I'm not looking to take Benfica on a double chance after putting up no goals at home. I do still think they can get one here on the road. The over-under at 3.5 is a little juicy and a little odd to me at minus 122. If anything, I lean the under here at plus 100 on the under 3.5. Same thing with Barcelona here. I know they're capable of scoring goals. I know I got burned on my Arsenal team total last week, which made me look like kind of an ass when they put up 7 goals. But Barcelona under 2.5 goals here at minus 106, I do think has some value. Obviously, Benfica holding them to 1 goal in the home fixture, but they did have a man advantage there. I just don't know how urgent Barcelona is going to feel like they need 3 goals with a 1-0 aggregate lead here. The move might be to just try and win this one 2-0, maybe 2-1, and then hold that aggregate victory and get the hell through to the next round. Barcelona has struggled advancing very deep into the UCL recently, so I could see them getting ahead and looking to protect the lead late. Getting into some of these player props, I gotta talk about Lewandowski, anytime goal scorer. He's sitting at minus 114 over on BetRivers. You guys know I hate paying juice for anytime goal scorers, but Lewandowski really probably is worth it. The guy's got almost 100 UCL goals and like 120 appearances. He scores constantly in this competition. If you're a Rafinha guy, I'm not going to try and talk you out of Rafinha. I don't hate his anytime goal. It is a little short for me at like plus 105 to like plus 115 neighborhood, depending on where you shop around. But that just seems a little light for me. I think a lot of value is going to be with Benfica here, obviously as road underdogs. If you have access to Bet365, you can get Pavladas just to put a shot on target at minus 125. I think that's an absolutely incredible number. Back over on the Barcelona side, again, if you have Bet365, Pedri for a single shot on target is plus 200. I think that's a lot of value. It's a lot shorter kind of everywhere else. So I would say plus 160 over on Caesars is still pretty good value, but I'm not super interested in getting involved with Pedri for anything that's less than like plus 140 ish. So if you can't find Pedri for a shot on target at plus 140 or better, I'd probably pass on that, but I am interested, like I said, over on Caesars at plus 160. And if you have access to bet 365, plus 200 is too long of a number. I would jump on that as well. I'm going to keep it simple here. I don't have a ton of faith in Benfica. I do think Barcelona win this match. I don't know if they're going to look to run the score up. But my last value prop here is Otamendi to take a single shot is plus 150 on DK. Otamendi shot in the first 60 seconds last game. He has been shooting frequently here in the UCL. It's been a very profitable player prop for me this season. I will once again dip into Otamendi to take a single shot at plus 150 over on DK. This is also potentially Otamendi's last match. If you like him to get booked, I am not going to try and talk you out of it, though the number is shorter than usual, sitting around plus 150 to plus 170. Not trying to be a downer on this match. I just don't see a lot of things that I like, and I'm not trying to get too heavily involved here. Barcelona probably wins. That's not ideal for me as a fan, and it's just not ideal price points on Barcelona. Again, I do lean the team total under 2.5 at minus 108 over on FanDuel. I just don't know how often people want to get involved in Barcelona unders. So that'll kind of do it for me here. Please be sure to like and subscribe right here on youtube.com/@Burrow772. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps me out a shit ton. I cannot say that enough. Subscribing on the channel is the best way to help support me for $0. It allows me to bring you this free YouTube content each and every week. When we're talking Champions League, it allows me to do college basketball stuff. It allows me to do baseball stuff. It allows me to play around and try out different formats and continue to bring you quality content as often as possible. So please subscribe right here and check out all the links below for Discords, information on how to follow me on other socials, and BetUS sign-up promo codes, etc., all right down in the video description. That'll do it for me. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you at the window as always. Oaks out. Doses. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Burrow77 back at you with another edition of UCL Knockout Round 2s. Once again, this is a reminder that Europe does daylight savings time slightly different than us, and all of these matches will be an hour behind. So instead of starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, these will be kicking off at 4 p.m. Eastern. Next up, we have Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich here. Leverkusen really shit the bed. They are coming home, but they are down 0-3 on aggregate. Leverkusen looked really bad against Bayern even after they took out Neuer, and Bayern kind of gave them a shot here to get back in it, down a goal, but Leverkusen was not able to capitalize. They didn't put out their best starting 11. I didn't see Boniface or Schick out there, which is always a problem. I believe Florian Wirtz might be suspended on yellow cards now, too, for this reverse fixture at home. So that's always an issue when one of your leading scorers and assist makers, plus your frequent penalty kick taker, isn't going to be available due to a yellow card suspension. So that's always difficult. Xabi Alonso is now kind of flopped in Europe twice here for Leverkusen. Put up a huge stinker with a poorly chosen starting 11 last year in the Europa League finals versus Atalanta, and again made some questionable lineup decisions for Leverkusen away at the Allianz and did not look good. Xabi Alonso, I know he's kind of on Madrid's shortlist for coaches they want to replace Don Carlo. I don't know. After two piss poor European showings, I'm not sure that he is perfect for this Madrid job. Again, I know he's an ex-player. I know he's got big ties to the club. I know he's done wonderful things, and he won 2 out of 3 trophies last season for Leverkusen, who hasn't been able to do it in Bundesliga in quite some time. His performances here in big European finals and big European ties definitely have me a little suspect. Anyway, enough future Madrid talk. I know you guys don't always care. So Byron on the money line here at plus 143, especially with potentially no Florian Wirtz. I do need to double check those yellow cards. But when I was looking for his player props, they weren't listed on most shops. So that kind of tells me he's probably suspended on yellows. That's just my assumption. So Byron plus 143 on the money line here, looking really good. Even if Leverkusen do start Schick or Boniface, it's going to be a lot more difficult to score without Florian Wirtz. So I am kind of leaning Byron here on the money line at plus 143. I'm not super looking to get involved in any totals here. Leverkusen definitely needs to press the issue at home. If I was going to get involved in a total, it would probably be their team total over 1.5 at plus 146. I'm not positive they can score 2 goals. I don't think Byron needs to score multiple goals here. They know that they're ahead on aggregate, and we've seen them play a very defensive game, kind of in a low block versus Leverkusen already this season. Byron went into Leverkusen about a month ago and played a 0-0 draw where they only took 2 freaking shots, and one of them was from like way outside the box. So they didn't have any quality looks at all. I'm kind of worried that Byron do something like that again, but there's just too nice of price points here on some player props. So we are going to talk about those. I am probably going to get involved. And when we talk about player props, anytime Kane is a plus number for an anytime goal, I am leaning that way. If you're going to give me Kane at plus 148 for a goal over on BetRivers, I pretty much have to take it, no questions asked. So I am looking at Harry Kane, and it is worth mentioning his to score assist on FanDuel at plus 100 is very generous, especially with the way FanDuel grades assists. So I'm not going to hate if you want to get involved with Harry Kane to score assist at plus 100 over on FanDuel as well, instead of the anytime goal scorer. Anytime you can get a plus money sign on Kane, it is always worth a look. Next up, keeping it Byron, we do need to talk about Elise. Him to score assist at plus 150 is a very nice number. He obviously assisted Kane last game on the first Byron goal, which was very nice. We cashed 2 player props there right away. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen again. So I am going to continue to ride Elise, who has had the hot foot here. Give me him to score or assist at plus 150 over on FanDuel. Again, guys, I'm not saying to take every single one of these props. These are just some more numbers on some Byron guys that I like. Again, I'm not sure how motivated they're going to be to go forward and commit to a counterattack, knowing that they're up 3-0 on aggregate, and Leverkusen is the one who has to press the issue this entire game. We got to talk about Musiala for a shot on target, listed at minus 125 over on DraftKings. That is a flat out disrespectful number, and one you are pretty much never going to see in Bundesliga. It's a number you're only going to get here in Champions League. And I say it anytime it's remotely playable. Kimmich to take a single shot at minus 140 over on DraftKings is a must play for me. I love Kimmich. He typically rips from the midfield. He can put him on frame. He takes a lot of the set pieces, so he can take a shot and bury it into the wall for a free kick. Kimmich also is responsible for some corners that can lead to assists as well as his free kick stuff. So his to score assist is always a long shot, but worth taking a look. I'm going to play his shot at minus 140 over on DK. If you want to take his shot on target for a plus 240-ish number, I'm not going to try and talk you out of it there. Getting in some Leverkusen stuff, as you can see here, Florian Wirtz is not in the projected 11. That's another big tip for me that he's suspended on yellows. So without Florian Wirtz, without Schick, without Boniface up top, with questionable lineup choices here from Leverkusen, I don't know if I'm going to have a ton of stuff to bet here pre-flop, but if I do get involved with some stuff, it's going to be with Grimaldo and Frimpong out here on the wings. Even if they're playing a little bit more back, Grimaldo takes all the free kicks. Frimpong is nasty. He's a guy I bet on all the time for Leverkusen. Even over in Bundesliga, we're getting some really nice numbers on their shots on target. Frimpong for a shot on target is plus 150 over on FanDuel, and Grimaldo for a shot on target is plus 155 over on DK. Other than that, Grant Xhaka does like to pull up from the midfield, and him just to have a single shot at minus 145 over on FanDuel is a little bit long for a straight bet, but might make a nice parlay piece. Hell, if you want to take Kimmich to take a shot and Xhaka to take a shot, that is a nice little combo there. Obviously, they're both listed at the best number on different sports books, so just make sure you get something comparable if you want to parlay those two together. Another guy I think is worth a dart on is Jonathan Tah back here on the back line. Tah is really, really tall. If Leverkusen gets some set pieces, especially corners, I think that Tah will be able to put his head on one. If you like him to take a shot, it's worth a flyer over on DraftKings at plus 120. Important to note, too, that it does look like Neuer is probably going to miss this match. I know he came off with a knock last game, wasn't able to finish out the Leverkusen match, did not start for them over the weekend. So we're looking at Ubig or whoever out here in net. That does make me think that Bayern will at least try for one goal at minimum. I don't think they're going to let Leverkusen stand on the gas. They're going to try and I don't think Bayern's going to try and sit in a low block for 90 plus minutes with a backup keeper in net. I do expect Bayern to at least push for a counterattack, push out into the middle third, and try and get at least one more goal here for insurance to make sure that Leverkusen isn't able to rip off 3 unanswered and potentially draw this and send it into extra time and penalty kicks. Penalty kicks is really not where you want to be without Neuer and rocking your backup goalkeeper. So that is just something to keep in mind here when we talk about how open this game is going to be and how motivated Bayern is to score. That'll about do it for me here. I will be doing live stuff tomorrow as well on YouTube. So make sure you are liking and subscribing right here on youtube.com/@Burrow772. It costs you absolutely nothing and it helps me out a shit ton. Also, be sure to check down below in the video description. Join the Discords. Mine's $15 a month. I also do a dub club with Flash that is available right down here. All that information is posted below, along with the sign-up code for BetUS, where if you use my code, you get 125% deposit match on your first deposit. So be sure to check out the video description for all those details, as well as any other social media stuff or merch that I have going around. Check out the merch, Burrow77 shirts, hats, the whole 9 yards. You know the vibes. Anyway, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you at the window. As always, until next time, Oaks out. Doses. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Burrow77 here with Inter Milan versus Feyenoord. Once again, as a reminder, Europe does daylight savings time different than us. These games will be kicking off at 4 p.m. Eastern and not 3 p.m. Eastern. Getting right into this one, Inter has coughed up 1 goal so far in their UCL campaign. They clean-sheeted Feyenoord last week in a win away with a missed penalty kick. So that kept us at 2-0, I believe, on aggregate. Feyenoord got clean-sheeted in their own building, and I don't see a reason they don't get clean-sheeted again here in the San Siro. Inter is pulling off the Italian masterclass right now, which is get draws or wins away on the road and handle your business at home in the San Siro. Coming back with a 2-0 aggregate lead. I lean on Inter to win to nil here again at plus 110 over on Caesars. And if you like what I did last week with the Inter score bands of a 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 win, that is available for plus 160 over on FanDuel as well. Inter does tend to do significantly better here at home, so I do not hate getting involved in the minus 1.5 Asian handicap at minus 104 if you are looking to avoid Inter winning by clean sheet. It does give you some flexibility there, and it leaves the cap open on the win to nil compared to the score bands. I don't personally think Inter is going to run it up 4-5, 6-0, but they could. They absolutely could. This Inter team at home in the San Siro is absolutely nasty. So let's get into the projected starting 11, which is fucking trash here from FOTMob. There's absolutely no way Taremi is starting over Lautaro Martinez in a knockout game, so I don't know why that's up there. I do think Augusto probably will be in the midfield with Bellara's injury. So look for a little bit of rotation here in the midfield. I also am not seeing Cal Halungu projected in this starting 11. I do think he picked up a card last game. No, Cal Halungu did not pick up a card last game. He just didn't start. He came in the 81st minute. Nobody here for Inter is suspended on yellow card accumulation. There are a couple of guys over on Feyenoord that picked up some fouls that got them booked that will have them missing the game. So as far as Inter goes, I do think Kala Halungu likely starts here, especially without DeMarco in a knockout match at home at the San Siro. Even though you have the aggregate laid, you do want to put your best foot forward here and make sure that at least for the first 75, 80 minutes of this game, you're not giving up anything to a Feyenoord team and giving them a reason to live and reason to believe in your building. So I like Lautaro Martinez for an anytime goal at plus 120 over on BetRivers. Look, I've got a lot of issues with Martinez. He is a very quality scorer. He is getting it done here for Inter. He has been hot recently, so there's no reason not to like his anytime goal at plus 120 over on BetRivers. I do think we see Thuram in this lineup as well. You can take his goal if you like. You can take his assist if you like. His to-score assist was just a little bit too short for me, and I don't want to get involved in Thuram unless I am getting a good number on his to-score assist, because he's perfectly capable of doing both, and I don't want to be holding a goal ticket and he gets an assist, or an assist ticket and he gets a goal without getting paid. So I didn't get involved with Thuram there. Like I said, I do think Cal Halungu starts and plays this game. His shot on target is plus 100 over on DK, and it is important to note that if he's on the pitch, I believe Cal Halungu will be taking the penalty kicks. Martinez didn't step up and take late there for Inter. While Cal Halungu wasn't on the pitch, they missed. Cal Halungu has been the most consistent guy from the PK spot for this club for the last 2 years. So I find it really hard to take the ball away from him. Either way, shooting from midfield at plus 100, I still think it's worth a look. The guy's got an absolute howitzer for a leg. He's been a Serie A merchant. He's been at Inter. He's been at AC Milan. He's been all over the place. He's a veteran. He pulls up from the midfield. He shoots when he does. He's fairly accurate when he does it. So give me his shot on target at plus 100 over on DK. Sticking with some Inter stuff here, I like Dumfries for a shot on target, playing right wing again at plus 125. I could also easily be talked into Dumfries over 1.5 shots at minus 110 on FanDuel. Again, that shot on target number plus 125 over on Caesars. I like Denzel Dumfries to get involved here in the offense. The other couple of props I'm looking at here are from the Feyenoord side. You know I got to take Carranza. That's my dog. Shout out Philly Union. Dope. It's nice to see him doing well over in Europe. But give me Carranza for a shot on target, plus 105 over on Caesars. The other guy I want to talk about is Musa, I know that he is more of a volume guy, so I do like his over 1.5 shots sitting at plus 120 on FanDuel. Whether or not he's as accurate as guys like Carranza and Pai Shao is certainly up for debate, but if you're going to take his over 1.5 shots at plus 120 on FanDuel, I also don't hate his shot on target at plus 140 over on DK. Same thing with Carranza. If you want to take him over 1.5 shots at minus 115 on FanDuel, I have no problem with that. Pai Shao struggled a lot in the home fixture. That was a very big key for Inter Milan, was to kind of try and shut down Pai Shao. He does have a more difficult side going against the likes of Augusto, Mkhitaryan, and Bastoni over here on what would be Inter's left-hand side. So I do think that Musa and Carranza are the better look. I'm not going to try and persuade you out of Pai Shao. If you want to do it, he has been the more consistent guy. He has been kind of the higher quality here for Feyenoord. But again, that was when they had Santiago Jimenez up top. I'm not saying Carranza's incapable. It's just, it changes the focal point of where you want to defend, and you're probably going to throw your best weapons at Pai Shao as opposed to, Carranza or Musa, though you do have to pay attention to both of them. I just think that Pai Shao has the worst matchup here, so I didn't get involved in any of his props. But if that's something you want to do, I'm not going to try and talk you out of it. That's going to be kind of it for me here in this game. I do think Inter win. I think they can do it with a clean sheet. I do think there's some value on Feyenoord, especially when it comes to Musa and Carranza. As always, please be sure to like and subscribe right here on youtube.com/@Burrows772. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it goes a long way to helping support so that I can continue to bring you free videos each and every week. Please be sure to follow me on social media as well at Burrows77, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, available there as well. Check out the links down below in the description to get all the info on Discords, dub clubs, and BetUS sign-up promos as well. As always, I look forward to seeing you at the window, and we will be back to talk Liverpool versus PSG here shortly. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Burrows77 here with another UCL talk for you. Once again, quick reminder, Europe and America don't do daylight savings time the same, so this game will be kicking off at 4 p.m. Eastern as opposed to 3 p.m. Eastern. And man, what a game at the Parc des Princes for the first round of this fixture. PSG dominated the ball. They created way more chances. Alisson stood on his head, and with one of two shots and the only shot on target, Liverpool on a counterattack ends out squeaking out a 1-0 victory at the death. I like Liverpool here at Anfield again, though PSG did get right and hang 4 on Rennes over the weekend. I know PSG was a pretty popular underdog to advance and underdog pick last week. I was not about that at all. I like Liverpool. I think they are the better team. I think they're playing better football. I think at home at Anfield, getting plus 128 on the money line is a disrespectful number, and you likely will not see that sort of number again until the next round of Champions League, and maybe even after that. Liverpool is just that good. Give me them on the money line at plus 128. If Alisson's standing on his head again, I'm not sure PSG are going to be able to score, though they probably should. It was a little bit of football injustice that they weren't able to find a goal, but all props to Alisson. He looked fantastic back there. He was standing on his head, and I can't say enough about the performance. If he's got another one of those in his bag, or if he continues to play like that throughout Champions League, this Liverpool team is going to be a very, very tough out. And his performance reminded me a lot of what Courtois did against Liverpool in the UCL final a couple years back. So with all of that said, I'm probably not going to get involved in the over 2.5 here at minus 177. And I'm certainly not running to the window to lay minus 200 or minus 220 to get involved with both teams to score here. If anything, involving the over, I would probably look at Liverpool team total over 1.5 at minus 120. I just don't think PSG have it in their bag to come into Anfield and score 2, though the plus 120 is kind of a nice number and has some value if you are a PSG supporter and think that they can shock Liverpool here at home. Jumping over to the player props, there's going to be a lot of really nice numbers here on the board. Starting with Salah, anytime goal. He takes their PKs. He got 2 PKs over the weekend. He's very nasty from the PK spot. He is always available on the counter. He likes to cherry pick. He doesn't play any fucking defense. So he's always kind of an outlet breakout guy to go to. If he's scoring or assisting there on counterattacks for Liverpool. Salah, anytime goal, sitting at plus 145 over on FanDuel is a number I gotta take. I will probably look to dabble in his assist as well, just in case he does either or. Not super in love with laying minus 125 for him on to score or assist, though. If you want to take it, I'm not going to try and talk you out of it. It is probably the best number you will see on Salah to score or assist until the next round of Champions League, if Pool happens to make it there, which obviously I think they will because I'm backing Pool on the money line. Next up, we got to talk about Dembele. His anytime goal scorer number at plus 200 is simply too long. Even if Alisson stands on his head and stops another 14, 15, 20 shots on target, I'm still going to take Dembele for a long shot at plus 200. The guy's just in way too good of form for you to hang that sort of number on him. Keeping it with PSG, I also want to talk about Kvaratskhelia, aka Special K. I love his to score assist number sitting at plus 190 over on BetRivers. You're not getting the soft assist grade market like you are on FanDuel. If you want to take it on FanDuel, I think it's only like plus 150-ish, but Kvaratskhelia had like 3 shots on target, probably should have scored a goal, but again, Alisson was just a brick wall back there. Looked good over the weekend as well, so I could get involved in Kvaratskhelia to score or assist, sitting at plus 190 over on BetRivers. Keeping it PSG for a second, these numbers probably aren't good enough to take as standalones, but if you want to get involved with Barcola for a shot on target or Special K for a shot on target, Special K is sitting at minus 155 on DraftKings. Barcola shot on target at minus 150 on DraftKings. Both of those really good numbers that don't hold up in the same game parlay function. So if you want to take Special K or Barcola, the numbers are a little long for standalones, but I think they make very good dance partners for something in the Inter-Feyenoord game or something in the Leverkusen-Bayern match. Again, their numbers don't stay the same when you get in the same game parlay function, so you will have to go cross-game if you want to keep the minus 155 and minus 150 on Barcola and Kvaratskhelia, respectively. Sticking with PSG, this entire midfield plus Hakimi are all shooters. Ruiz, Vitania, Neves, Hakimi, all guys I like for shots on target, all going to be more than playable by themselves as standalones. We're looking at Vitinha shot on target, plus 180 over on DraftKings. We're looking at Hakimi for a shot on target at plus 175 over on DraftKings. We're looking at Ruiz for a shot on target at plus 200 on DK. And João Neves is like plus 230 or longer on some sports books. So be sure to shop around and find your best numbers there. I wouldn't try and talk you out of any of those guys. I wouldn't play all 4 of them for a shot on target, but I would think that if you wanted to get involved in 1 or 2 of them, pick your favorite guy. All of those numbers are more than perfectly playable as standalones. Switching back over to some Liverpool stuff, I think Sabitslai to put a shot on target at minus 110 is going to be more than playable. I do not expect Liverpool to absorb a bunch of pressure like they did for the first 45 minutes and basically the entire game against PSG. One of the things we know about PSG is they are super nasty at the Parc des Princes, and they tend to fall apart a little bit outside of the Parc des Princes. I think Liverpool will be on the front foot more, and they will have more opportunities here. So give me Sabitslai to put a shot on target at minus 110 over on Caesars. Next up, we got to talk about my guy, number 10 in the midfield here, McAllister. for Liverpool. I like him to take 2 shots, which you can get at a very nice number, sitting at plus 240 over on Caesars. McAllister is also perfectly capable of putting the shot on target. So his shot on target at plus 200 over on Caesars, I think, is way too long. McAllister's clinical when he does get looks. He will put up 1 or 2 shots. He's typically putting it on target when he takes it. So I like that at plus 200. McAllister does have several goals this season. I'm not going to bother looking up how many off the top of the dome, but if you want to get cheeky and get involved with him for a goal, I don't hate that. The big thing I want to see is I think McAllister should be on the majority of set pieces here. I don't want to see TAA putting in a ton of free kicks. I think McAllister is much more clinical and capable of scoring direct from free kick if Liverpool need that. So I would just say that McAllister is not on all set pieces, but he should be on a majority of them. Last but not least, give me the giant Dutchman, Virgil van Dijk, to take a single shot on the back line, sitting at plus 100 over on Caesars. Obviously, did not hit for us. I expect Liverpool to have a bunch more corners here. I think if Liverpool can get 4 or 5 corners, that Virgil van Dijk is going to find his way to get his head on one. He's giant. He's Dutch. He does it all the time for the international squad. He does it all the time here for Liverpool. Conte is another guy you can look at if he floats your boat a little bit more. I personally like Van Dijk because he's done it on the highest level for Liverpool so much. He does it in the UCL. He does it for the national team. He's not afraid of the big moments. I think that he will find a way to get free in the box and get his head on a corner. I will say I did hate that Liverpool took their only corner short last week. Don't do that. You guys aren't good at taking corners short. You're really good at getting the ball into the box for the giants like VVD and Conte to put shots on target and possibly get you a headed goal. So don't get cheeky. Don't start thinking that you can take short corners. Just put in out swingers so that VVD can slam that thing home with some pace. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me today. It is way too late. I need to get to bed. So please be sure to check out all the links below in the description. Make sure you're liking and following here on youtube.com/@Burrows772. And if you need a sportsbook to bet with, please use my sign-up code for BetUS linked right down here below in the description. BetUS is nice enough to sponsor me for some of these videos, and they will give you a 125% deposit match using my promo code below. I really enjoyed working with BetUS on their La Liga show last year, and Flash and I have stayed friends and in contact throughout this soccer season, including the Dub Club that we do together, which is linked below, as well as my Discord. I will do another one of these previews tomorrow for the Wednesday games. I'm just running super short on time today. I'll cut these up. I'll get them edited. I'll get them posted to YouTube, Twitter, everywhere you follow me. So appreciate it. As always, guys, I hope these have been helpful. I hope they get you in the right mindset for betting tomorrow. We will also be doing live shows since we do get the extra hour with daylight savings time here. It'll be a little bit easier for me to organize and get ready for some live shows tomorrow. So expect those. You'll get notified as long as you're subscribed right here on youtube.com. Final plug. And that'll be it for me. I look forward to seeing you guys at the window as always. Until we talk tomorrow, Oaks out, ghosts. We outside!